Hello, I'm Marcy Bridges with the Office of Special Education and Early Learning. Welcome to this presentation of the Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, series for teachers. To review, UDL is a method of presenting information in multiple formats and with high interest options, allowing students to demonstrate their knowledge in a way that suits them best. UDL includes three main principles: engagement, representation, and action and expression. The previous videos of this series can be accessed on the Kentucky Department of Education, KDE, Instructional Resources webpage by using the QR code. To find the section on UDL, please scroll down. The principle of representation, or the what of learning, is meant to provide teachers and students options for perception, language and symbols, and building knowledge. These three guidelines will be the focus of the next group of presentations. This presentation will be a deeper dive into the second guideline under the representation principle, language and symbols. This presentation is based on the UDL 3.0 guidelines and will focus on designing options to clarify vocabulary, symbols, and language structures, support decoding of text, mathematical notations, and symbols, cultivate understanding and respect across languages and dialects, promote fairness in the use of language and symbols, and illustrate through multiple media. The symbols that make up language vary widely from culture to culture. Comprehension suffers when the syntax of a sentence or the structure of an equation is not familiar to learners. Try to read this sentence. Those who are not familiar with the Korean language will not understand this Korean sentence is saying, "Have a nice day." To ensure accessibility for all, key vocabulary, labels, icons, and symbols should be associated with alternate representations. This could be done through pre-teaching vocabulary, using word walls or flashcards with pictures or translations, or using objects that help teach the meaning of words. Having access to realistic photos when understanding new things makes it easier for the user to comprehend. This menu is probably difficult for you to understand because it is written in Chinese, and it would be hard to order food using this menu. How about now? By adding photos to the menu, it's much easier to order food for someone who does not read Chinese. This shows how photos can aid in comprehension. It's important for teachers to support the decoding of text, mathematical notation, and symbols. Understanding new symbols, whether they are letters, numbers, or braille, is a skill that takes time and practice. While some might pick it up faster than others, every student needs plenty of chances to see and use these symbols in a meaningful way. Lack of decoding skills can be frustrating for students and make it harder for them to understand new information. Therefore, it's important to offer different ways to learn and to reduce barriers to decoding. Teachers can allow the use of text-to-speech for reading tasks, and the flexibility of different representations of mathematical notation for math tasks. Consideration 2.3 reminds teachers to cultivate understanding and respect across languages and dialects. Most academic texts in America are monolingual, but the modern classroom is not. For new learners of English, comprehension suffers when they can't understand what they're seeing or being asked to read. In addition, teachers can help students respect classmates from other parts of the world by honoring their culture and language. To reduce barriers to language, teachers can provide key information in both the dominant language and other languages represented in the classroom, including American Sign Language. Teachers can also allow students to use translation apps or software and offer a variety of literary works. Language is interwoven with a person's culture, values, and sense of identity. Offering content through multiple languages increases accessibility and provides linguistically diverse learners with a sense of value and belonging. Teachers can support this by using captions. Additionally, labeling classroom items in multiple languages can help English learners improve their comprehension. When possible, incorporate American Sign Language into all aspects of the learning environment. Classroom materials are often dominated by text, but relying on text alone can impose barriers. Offering multiple representations can make text easier to comprehend. Here is the word clock. To represent this, use videos, realistic images, or drawings to make the word clock more accessible. There are many ways to present key concepts beyond text. These include an illustration, diagram or table, a model, video, photograph, or physical objects. To show an example of how language and symbols can aid in perception, let's watch this video of a lesson in progress. This lesson, set in a high school social studies classroom, dissects lyrics of a song to help the students connect their text to American history. After watching, we will discuss some ways in which the teacher uses strategies of UDL during the lesson. Remember, even though this example is set at the high school level, the ideas and principles of UDL shown can be applied at any grade level.
All right, guys, great discussions. I really liked some of what I was hearing. Heard some really nice conversation while you were completing that graphic organizer with information about the Loyalists and the reasons behind the American Revolution. Okay, so to connect that to your reading, I want you to recall that the Patriots were the people who were for the revolution. They wanted change. What did your reading say about the Patriots? Davy, can you tell us something?
Yeah, they thought, you said about the Patriots, right?
Yes.
Okay, they thought that they were being treated not fairly, unfairly by the British, and they didn't like the taxes.
That's right. Excellent. So the Patriots were also known as the Whigs. Okay? The term Whigs is from a British government party called the Whigs, and they had similar views as the colonists. They weren't super happy with what the king was doing either. These Patriots were, for one thing, Davy reminded us, they were angry about the taxes, right? Like the Stamp Act of 1765. Remember, that act required that printed material had to be printed on paper that was made all the way over in Britain. We couldn't even use our own paper.
That sounds crazy. But Alexander Hamilton was a patriot, right?
You're right, Savannah, he was. Yeah, and he was definitely for the revolution. He wanted a lot of change. The Patriots wanted the revolution, but the Loyalists, remember, they were loyal to the king. They were against the revolution. In your readings, they were called by another name. Does anybody remember?
Uh, oh, I know. They were called the Tories.
Good,
That's a weird
Jasmine.
name.
It is kind of a weird name. Yeah. They were called the Tories because actually back then, Tory was an insult. It was like calling somebody kind of a bad name. It in general means robber, like a thief. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, somebody who steals something, right? So the loyalists were called the Tories because it seemed like they were stealing the money from the patriots. Okay? So on your graphic organizers on your tablets, it indicates loyalist, Tory, and patriot Whig.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take a look.
Okay. And what I want you to do is write down a few things that you remember from either the lyrics or our readings or even what we talked about today, and try to write those down on the sides that they go with. So you're going to write some words for loyalist and write some words for the Tories. And then on the other side, write some words for patriots or the Whigs. Okay? I will come around and check your work in just a moment. Go ahead and get started.
Okay.
In the video, the teacher used the principles of UDL by using multimedia through listening to the song, connecting the lyrics and other readings to American history, using wait time, and revisiting the word loyalist several times. For additional information on UDL and its guidelines, please see the resources available here. For any questions, please contact me, Marcy Bridges. I can be reached at 502-564-4970, extension 4143, or by email at marcy.bridges@education.ky.gov. Thank you for watching this presentation on UDL representation, language, and symbols.